Across the globe, energy markets are under extreme stress. With the chaotic and escalating conflicts in the Middle East, global fuel prices are surging. But if you look at the gas stations here in India, the numbers on the pumps are eerily flat. Domestic petrol prices have barely moved. For the average consumer commuting to work, this creates a strange disconnect. Because your daily budget hasn't been hit, the global crisis feels thousands of miles away. The people actually managing the economy, however, see a completely different reality. Uday Kotak is India's wealthiest banker, with a net worth of $14 billion and a key government advisor. He recently issued a blunt warning. A massive economic shock is heading straight for us, and citizens need to prepare. The quiet stability we are experiencing right now is a mirage. The financial barrier protecting the middle class from global chaos is cracking. You can see the preparation happening at the highest levels of leadership. When Prime Minister Modi begins repeatedly advising citizens to work from home, it is a strategic maneuver. He is also actively urging citizens to cancel international weddings and vacations, asking them to visit domestic monuments like the Statue of Unity instead. The objective is clear: keep money inside the borders. The government knows it desperately needs to preserve its foreign currency reserves to survive an impending external shock. When the head of state asks you to stay inside and hoard your currency, the data is telling them a catastrophic storm is visible on the horizon. India's oil refining companies function as a shock absorber, taking the blow of expensive global crude so the public doesn't have to. But that protection is expensive. They have bled over 1,000 crore rupees in pure losses to keep domestic numbers artificially low. They are managing this by emptying out their older reserves of crude oil, which were purchased when global rates were much cheaper. But those reserves are mathematically finite. Once the refineries run out of cheap oil and cash, the full weight of the market will crush the consumer. Meanwhile, the global conditions are only deteriorating. Diplomatic peace proposals are literally being thrown away or tossed aside without consideration. With the ongoing tension centered in the Middle East, the threat of widespread conflict shutting down energy supply lines remains extremely high. This chart tracks the projection from JP Morgan, which warns that if these supply lines remain choked, crude oil could hit $150 a barrel by September. As those external prices surge, domestic purchasing power is weakening. The value of the rupee is falling rapidly against foreign currencies. Because of this sustained devaluation, India has slipped behind the UK in global economic rankings. Facing record-high global oil prices with a severely weakened domestic currency guarantees maximum financial devastation when the two collide. When that corporate buffer finally snaps, the absolute first thing you will experience is a massive price spike at the local petrol pump. This flowchart illustrates what happens next. The inflated cost of fuel immediately multiplies the cost of commercial transportation. Because every single item you buy arrives on a truck, the prices of food, clean water, and basic commodities will surge simultaneously, pushing overall inflation aggressively upward. For middle-class families living on fixed incomes, paying vastly more for the exact same necessities will rapidly drain their household savings. It is easy to look at elite economic projections and dismiss them as spreading panic. But these warnings are designed to trigger immediate personal preparation. The most effective step you can take today is to halt discretionary spending. Abandon the luxury trips, put off major purchases, and brace your finances. The cheap oil is gone, the global supply is restricted, and the buffer is breaking.